As the world reacted to news of U.S. strikes on Iran's nuclear facilities, international officials largely responded with alarm and calls for restraint, though some expressed praise. Across the Middle East, reactions ranged from concern to condemnation. The Saudi government said it was following events with great concern and called for urgent diplomacy. Iran's top officials condemn U.S. strikes and assert their right to self-defense. The governments of Iraq and Qatar both warned the strikes risked destabilizing an already volatile region. Pakistan also issued a statement condemning the strike and warning of severely damaging implications for the broader region. Among Iran's allies and regional proxies, the reaction was more forceful. Yemen's Houthi movement described the strikes as a cowardly U.S. act done in support of the Zionist entity. The group vowed continued resistance, saying the attack would only strengthen Iran's commitment to its regional alliances. Hamas, the Palestinian militant group which led the Octa 7 2023 deadly assault against Israel, and which has received arms and support from Iran, said it condemned the blatant U.S. aggression against Iran as a direct threat to international peace and security. Applause in Israel. In Israel, the strikes were hailed as a long overdue move to eliminate what leaders described as an existential threat. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu thanked President Trump in a pre-recorded video message posted early Sunday and said the operation was carried out in full coordination with U.S. forces. Former Defense Minister Yoav Gallant called the action a bold decision for the United States, for Israel, for all of humanity. Members of Israel's political opposition also backed the move by the U.S. Yair Lapid, head of the opposition in the Knesset, Israel's parliament, dismissed critics of the strike as useful idiots who fail to see through the cynicism of regimes like Iran's. President Trump and the American military made the world a safer place last night, Lapid wrote on X. Measured response in Europe. European reaction has so far been restrained, with most governments taking a cautious approach in their response. In the United Kingdom, Prime Minister Keir Starmer appeared to offer measured but conditional support for the strike. Iran can never be allowed to develop a nuclear weapon, Starmer said in a post on X, calling the U.S. action an effort to alleviate that threat. At the same time, he urged a return to diplomacy. The situation in the Middle East remains volatile, and stability in the region is a priority. France's Foreign Minister Jean-Noël Barrot said on social media Sunday that his country learned about the U.S. strikes with concern, emphasizing that France was not involved. He said France urges the parties to show restraint in order to avoid any escalation that could lead to an extension of the conflict. In Germany, Chancellor Friedrich Merz called on Iran to immediately begin negotiations with Israel and the United States. Other global reactions, UN and Russia. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres condemned the use of force, calling the U.S. strikes a dangerous escalation in a region already on the edge. Guterres warned of catastrophic consequences for civilians, the region, and the world, and urged all parties to de-escalate. The International Atomic Energy Agency, the UN's nuclear watchdog, which advocates for nuclear energy and opposes nuclear weaponry, has said it would hold an emergency meeting on Monday in light of the urgent situation in Iran. It confirmed there was no detectable radiation and said it would provide further assessments. Russia said Sunday that it strongly condemned the United States bombings of nuclear sites in Iran, calling the attacks irresponsible and a gross violation of international law. It is already clear that a dangerous escalation has begun, fraught with further undermining of regional and global security, the Russian Foreign Ministry added in a statement. The Trump administration's view, President Trump framed the decision to join Israel's offensive on Iran as a military and diplomatic success. We have completed our very successful attack on the 3 nuclear sites in Iran, including Fordo, Natanz, and Esfahan, President Trump wrote on Truth Social Saturday. In later remarks from the White House, Trump said the objective of the strikes was the destruction of Iran's nuclear capacity, and said Iran's nuclear enrichment facilities had been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks would be far greater and a lot easier, he warned.